Hi, welcome to EcoSense Electric Vehicle Lab. Today we are going to showcase two of our newest addition to the Electric Vehicle Lab. The first system is BMS Learn and Build system. The other one is Battery Cycler system along with the environmental test chamber. So what we do here is we put the battery inside the environmental test chamber, attach it with the battery cycler, and we do charging and discharging runs on the battery so that we can estimate SOC, we can estimate SOH, we can study about behavior of battery at certain temperatures, at different humidity levels, and we can parameterize the characteristics of the battery properly. So now this is the battery cycle. So the function of a battery cycler is to run charge and discharge cycles. What we have built here is we have different algorithms for charge and discharge cycles. We can run charge and discharge cycles at constant current, at constant voltage mode, at C-rate mode, and a cycler mode. So what is a cycler mode? So cycler mode is basically a mode where you can just plug in your battery, switch on that mode, and it will charge your battery from 10% SOC to 90% SOC, then waits for some time, and then bring down the battery from 90% SOC to 10% SOC. While doing this charge and discharge, what we can estimate is the state of health of the battery, and we can actually do all the parameterization of the battery pack. So also when we use this BMS system, after doing all the estimations and all the measurements, what we need to do is, for the final step of the battery pack, is to charge and discharge this battery. So we will connect this battery along with this battery cycler, and we can do our experiments. Here is the environmental test chamber. So if we do not want to work on the BMS circuitry and we want to work on the entire battery pack, what we can do is we can place our battery pack inside this thing. So there is already a battery pack inside. We can set the environmental conditions like temperature and humidity. And at that specific environmental condition, we can do a cycle run of charging and discharging using this battery cycle, and we can check the behavior of battery at certain temperature or certain humidity levels. For example, at minus temperatures, the battery runs out very easily. So we can test those conditions using this. It can go from minus 10 degree to 60 degree, and the humidity can go from 40% to 95%. Now let's see how it works. So let's start with the charge discharge system or the battery cycler system. The software is built on LabVIEW. Yes, so what we have here is a dashboard, a data logging section, the battery BMS data, and different set of graphs. So before doing the experiment, let's set up the data logger. So we can choose a CSV file to log the data. We can either choose to log the data in seconds, or we can choose to log the data in minutes. Let's log the data every second. So I'll just put the value 1 here and switch on this thing. Now going back to the dashboard. So as soon as I run the software, it will sense the battery voltage. Now I have multiple modes here to do the battery cycling. There is a constant current mode, there is a constant power mode, there is C-rate mode, and there is battery cycler mode. So whenever I choose any one of this mode, my program changes. For example, if I go to constant current mode, there is a charging current reference and discharging current reference. If I go to constant power mode, there is a charging power reference, discharging power reference. If I go to C-rate mode, there is a C-rate to charge reference and C-rate to discharge reference. If I go to battery cycler mode, so this mode actually works on CCCV mode, and this is an automated mode. So as soon as I switch on this battery cycler, right now my SOC is around 80%, so it will charge the battery from 80% to 90%. It will wait for some time and again discharge the battery from 90% back to 10%. So unless we switch off this battery cycler, it will run the cycles, run continuous cycles. Now let's see how this works. I'll select the constant current mode. I'll switch on the battery cycle switch. I'll give a reference of 5 ampere, and you can see my PI will start tracking the battery current, and my battery is, so negative sign denotes charging, positive sign denotes discharging. So it has reached around 5 ampere and my battery has started charging. In the battery BMS data, we can see each of the cell voltages, we can see all the temperatures, we can see the battery specification. And here in graph, you can see battery voltage, battery current, temperature of different sensors, and battery power. Also, we can see state of charge, which is rising, and actual capacity, which is also rising because we are charging the battery. Similarly, if we want to discharge the battery, we just have to reduce the reference to 0. We shall wait until the battery current becomes 0. Now we can apply the discharging current reference. And you can see the battery current is tracking the discharging current reference. Let's wait for some time, so this will drop because now we are discharging. Yes. So my state of charge has dropped. To switch off the system, we'll switch off battery cycler, we'll stop this, we'll stop the VI. Now let's see if we have logged some data. This is where my data is logged. You can see today's date, you can see today's time, you can match it from here, and we have logged every second of data. So 3602, 3603, and you can we have logged each of the data, even all the 23 cell voltages, the pack voltage, pack current, temperatures. So this is how the system works.